helping my child develop his language skills with books and early literacy activities by the Speech Therapy Department of the Direction du Programme Jeunesse, CIUS de l'Estrie-Chute. Beginning in the early months of life, a child can start to explore books. He will also gradually become interested in other written material in his environment. If the child associates books and writing with pleasure, he will want to repeat the experience. It will motivate him to learn to read and write at school. It is important that his contact with books be a positive experience. You are the most significant person who can accompany your child in the written world. You do not need to be an avid reader to interest your child in reading and writing. In this video, we will introduce you to your role so that you can lead your child into the world of books and writing. We will also discuss how you can stimulate his language development during those moments. A child learns better when you follow his interests and he is having fun. There are 4 simple ways you can support your child in language learning when exploring books. Follow his interests. Make comments. Reformulate his ideas. Imitate your child, adding gestures and expressions. The youngest children will discover books using their 5 senses. They will touch, taste, and throw the books. Your child is free to do what he wants as long as he is having fun. You can give him thick cardboard books, plasticized books, or cloth books. With time, your child will become even more interested in the pages and the images in the book. He will browse from one page to another, not necessarily in the correct order. You can also show him pop-up books, sensory books, lift the flap books, and search and find books. Then he will probably become interested in stories with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Among others, he will enjoy stories that remind him of his everyday experiences, as well as imaginary stories. Books don't need to be new. You can borrow books for free from the library. You can purchase used books at yard sales or on discount websites. You can also receive gift books or exchange books with other families. It's also important to place books within your child's reach. To follow your child's interest, let him choose the book. When your child is interested in a book, wait and observe what draws his attention. Bend down to his eye level. You can then observe his face, his reactions. You will better notice what he's looking at, what interests him. Let him turn the pages as he wishes. The words that you add to his discovery are important. Avoid bombarding your child with questions to which you already know the answer, such as, "What's that? What color is it? Where's the horse?" He might lose interest. Instead, make comments. You can comment on what your child is doing or what he's watching. For example, the frog is riding his bicycle. You can also comment on his reactions and feelings. You think that's funny. You can also connect the book to his life. That's an umbrella, like the one you got as a present. If your child makes mistakes when saying something, but you understand him, do not have him repeat to correct him. That puts pressure on your child, which isn't fun. Instead, try to reformulate your child's message to make language development more enjoyable. Here's an example. Your child says, "Oh no, broken," while pointing at the book. You can reformulate the message by saying, "The book is broken." Your child touches the book and says, "No nice." You can reformulate the message. "The book is not so nice, but we can fix it." Your child then says, "Da bad wolf want eat the piggies." And you reformulate, "The big bad wolf wants to eat the piggies. Oh no." You can also imitate your child's gestures and expressions. Your child says, shh. You imitate him and say, shh. Your child says, ho, 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 while pretending to be Santa. You do likewise, adding a few words, and this time using a deeper voice. Ho, 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 I'm Santa. You can also add gestures and expressions related to what your child is reading. If he's staring at the page and someone is ringing a doorbell, you can say, ding dong, while pretending to be pressing the button. Gestures, sounds, and intonation make books even more interesting. Taking the time to read a book with your child stimulates his language development. Perhaps you have gotten into the habit of reading books to your child word for word. If your child is less interested in the reading of the text, comment on what he's looking at in the book. If your child is interested in reading the text, take the time to pause and to discuss the images, story, and objects with him. Having a discussion with him matters. Make sure each of you has a turn to speak and give your child time to react. Respect the duration of his interest. Sometimes looking at a book with a child doesn't last long. Other times, the child may want to reread the book several times. Books aren't the only thing that can interest your child in the written world. You can also use writing in your environment. Advertisements, cereal boxes, clocks, and street signs are but some of the wonderful entry points to the world of letters. It's necessary to add words to the experience. For example, if you're going to the mailbox, you can say, our box is number 9. If you are making a recipe together, you can read it aloud, your finger following the recipe in the cookbook. Add 2 teaspoons of salt. You can read the writing on your child's t-shirt or the assembly plan for his new game. You can scribble, draw, and do arts and crafts together. When the project is finished, write your child's name and age on his creation. The next time, he might likewise attempt to write a few letters with his pencil. You are also a role model for your child. The more you read and write in front of him and explain what you are doing, the more he will want to imitate you. For example, you can write your grocery list in your child's presence. You can name what you are doing. You can have him participate in choosing the food items on the list. You can look at your fishing magazine. You can talk to your child about what you are looking at and what you have learned. From a few simple everyday activities and from your words, your child will get the message that writing is useful and fun. The objective is not to have him read and write immediately, but rather to prepare him naturally through fun. So what can you do to help your child develop his language skills by exploring books and writing in your surroundings? Place books in areas that are within your child's reach. When your child is interested in a book, wait and observe what draws his attention. Comment on what he's doing and what he's looking at, and on his reactions. Reformulate what your child says or attempts to say. Imitate sounds and gestures, and add expressions. Have your child discover writing in his environment. Finally, be a role model. Read and write in the company of your child. For further information, please consult the following resources. Thank you for your time and attention.